A lot of us are headed out of the deficit that we've been in for a long time. We're on the upswing now, while a lot of y'all are sitting around watching us and you underestimate this knowledge that I'm giving you. This is amazing to me. We are under some serious, unusual circumstances. I mean, it's unusual. When's the last time you were alive during a pandemic? When's the last time you actually heard or experienced a pandemic? Now, this is what amazes me about people. People have seen that we are clearly under attack, not at war this time by some other country, even though we always are. Those that don't know, America's always at war, whether you know it or not. But we are under a new situation, if you will. In other words, you now have an ultimatum. Get the vaccine, don't get the vaccine. Put something in your body, don't put something in your body. Keep your job or lose your job because you're not vaccinated. Go to work and hang around unvaccinated people and risk getting sick, taking something to your family, or not go to work and lose your job. These are some seriously unusual circumstances. Now, I'm unqualified to tell you what to do. That's not my job here. The good thing is, in the good old US of A, we have freedom, options, and choices. But what I'm getting at is, if nothing else, this unique situation has shown you that just like that, your life can turn. I never thought I would be told that under no circumstances should you leave your house. For a minute, we were under martial law. You cannot leave the house. Now, I know you starts with Y-O-U, but because of the alliteration, I wanted to use the word you quite a bit since I'm on the letter U, but I don't want y'all to think I can't spell. You were told under no circumstances should you leave the house. Now, if at that time that wasn't a hint or a clue that things were changing, and you just now are carrying on with your life as usual, like nothing is happening, then I got to question your sanity. Why? Okay, let's look at it. You now have seen what happens when we can't mix and mingle. The United States of America is run by an economic social structure known as capitalism. Well, capitalism demands that people move about. Capitalism demands that we use each other's goods and services. Capitalism is the umbrella from which this entire country resides. So unfortunately, if we can't move about under this umbrella of capitalism, money draws up. So if I can't eat and I can't go to the movies, and we all go to the grocery store at the same time and the shelves are empty, but due to COVID, all the drivers aren't there to pick up the fruits and vegetables necessary. And because of COVID, there are new parameters being put in place where a barbershop or a nail salon or a daycare or the schools and the people that drive the buses to take our kids to school and the gas stations to put the gas in the truck in the buses to get our kids to school and the workers that teach our children at school see the trickle down effect. We can't go to the baseball game. We can't go to the basketball game. We can't go to the football game. So a lot of us are under a lot of stress because usually getting out is what keeps us alive as human connectivity. So now the people that work at the stadium can't go to work. That was the part-time job that kept the roof above my head that I live under. That was the part-time job as an usher, for example, in the stadium. But because y'all not coming to the games, all these ushers lose their jobs. Speaking of ushers, people at church can no longer go to church, so people aren't tithing as much. So our spiritual leaders and pastors took a hit. So let me get this straight. Everything from Las Vegas, gambling, casinos, hotels, travel, tourism, and churches, pastors, deacons, first ladies, parishioners, tithes, everything else, shut down for about 6 months to a year. Under the umbrella of capitalism, things become very unstable. So the president at the time says, this is unacceptable. We can't have the country shutting down. This is unacceptable behavior. Our umbrella is capitalism. So you know what we got to do? We got to crank things back up and let people start working again because we cannot survive under these conditions. Now here you are, quarantined and still didn't take the time to understand how economics in this country works. Here you are quarantined and still didn't take the time to understand the power of a home-based business. Here you are in a extremely unorthodox situation, and you didn't take the time to learn how to come out of this situation better than you went in. This is the most unique time on the planet to set up a cell phone, a tripod, go live, get in groups, new apps launched. You can get on Twitter and get information. You can get on Facebook and get information. You can join groups and forums and get information, online courses and get information. It is the most unreal time in your life right now to understand finances. You couldn't go nowhere, and you didn't take the time to get a better understanding on the uniqueness of this situation and find your way out of it. If you didn't learn and change and get a better understanding about money under quarantine, you telling me now you're going to do it now that you can move and shake again? This information is useless if you're not going to use it. One thing I feared, and fear is a strong word because I don't fear a whole bunch of things. And people that know me will tell you that, right? I'm a relatively small guy, 5'8", 150 pounds soaking wet, but I don't really have a whole bunch of fears. I don't live my life in fear. But one thing that made me a little nervous was the uncertainty of this situation. So what I did, I decided to ramp up my home-based business since we were quarantined anyway, since people had a hard time getting money outside of what the government gave. And I decided right now is the time to put out and flood the internet and flood my community with knowledge on the power of working from home, just in case this thing lasts a little longer than we anticipated. I earned an extra 6 figures in 90 days, screaming at the top of my lungs. I almost made it an ultimatum for you to get a home-based business. This situation makes it an ultimatum for you to get a better understanding of why you should make money under your own roof. What if this happens again? I just want y'all to think about the unusual nature of what we experience. What if this happens again? I'm gonna try to squeeze this word in. Unicorn. I'm just gonna say it because it's just a cool word, right? You need to become somebody different. This situation brings out those of us who are unicorns. That means something unusual. That means something unheard of. That means something that's very rarely seen. That means something that's just uncommon. I became a unicorn. I said, you know what? I'm going to take this quarantine. I'm going to go underground and I'm going to make sure I come out better than I was before these unusual circumstances. It doesn't matter what your opinion is. I'm telling you, you can't be the same person that you were before you experienced the pandemic. If you didn't make your goals and dreams come true while you were under lockdown, what makes you think you're going to make your goals and dreams come true or start something new when you can move about again? Now is the time to do it. So we make 3 figures a day, 4 figures a day, 5 figures a month, 6 figures a month. People from home make this kind of money. See, having a home-based business is about way more than just writing off your utilities. See, some of y'all think gas bill, cell phone bill, internet bill. I understand the power of a home-based business is writing off all my utilities. That's not it. What the home-based business does is give you unlimited time and unlimited money. It ain't about just writing off your utilities. You want unlimited resources. I've been working from my home 25 years. I retired at the age of 22. That means I decided a long time ago that under no circumstances will I let somebody tell me how much I am worth. So when I made that decision, I knew then, you know what? I'm going to enjoy the fruits of my labor. I'm going to walk outside when I want to and just look at my house and sit in the yard sometimes and just say to myself, man, at this time of the day, had I had a job, I would be in somebody's cubicle right now, under the false pretenses of what somebody else told me I was worth. Now my income is unlimited because I work from my house, create my own environment under my own circumstance, under my own roof to create my own circumstances. It just upsets me when people don't get the fact that you're already sitting on the asset and you're not using it. This ain't new. Y'all underestimate the power of a home-based business. I'm not giving you an update. I'm telling you something that you already know. This ain't hot off the press. If you're with me on the letter U right now and we're approaching Z, this ain't something you don't already understand. This is not an update. I've been talking for about 20 days on the power of a home-based business and having unlimited time and unlimited money, and you still haven't inquired how to get one and what you need to do to get with a movement like ours where we teach you this stuff on a constant basis. It upsets me, but not to the point where I get frustrated. I still love you. Maybe that's why I'm talking for 26 days straight. You know why? Because a lot of us are on the upswing now. See, a lot of us are headed out of the deficit that we've been in for a long time, and we're on the upswing now. While a lot of y'all are sitting around watching us and you underestimate this knowledge that I'm giving you. We're on the upswing. So if the quarantine or pandemic or all these variants do continue, we chose a different approach, an unusual approach, an unorthodox approach to making money. So if we end up having to stay in the house a little longer than we wanted to, our lifestyle will not change. In fact, for a lot of us, under these conditions, it got better. So why aren't you utilizing the things that you should now understand after 21 days of me talking to you? Why aren't you utilizing the things like your utilities? Why don't you understand the rules that govern capitalism and this umbrella called the United States of America? Why aren't you making unusual circumstances to take unusual measures in unusual circumstances? I'm glad you're uncomfortable, because uncomfortable is where the success lies. Being uncomfortable is where the money resides. Being uncomfortable in your situation is where you start stretching yourself. If it doesn't hurt, you aren't stretching. So for those of you who've gotten uncomfortable, I applaud you. I'm not upset with you. Go 26 days straight, pick 1 or 2 words and just talk to your people about this understanding.